Jujutsu Kaisen 194 continues with developing Kamo as a character via backstories and more death flag monologues, and you can't help but wonder, will the man die here? I mean, seriously, whenever a character says the line, and let me go ahead and find it, let me set my life ablaze so at the very least my companion's lives will burn brightly on my ashes. That quote felt like something Rengoku would say before he went off and... Okay, in any case, while this Naoya versus Maki Noritoshi battle continues, initially I thought Gege was dedicating this personal feud against the Zenin members as a way to show Maki's personal growth blossom. But I think in reality, Gege is going to make Noritoshi the star when it comes to a close. While Noritoshi buys Maki 5 minutes to recover from the attack Naoya knocked her out with in the previous chapter, Maki says that their chance of victory is 20%. Immediately after that, Kamo thinks back to a memory of his mother and the new life she is living without him. So heartbreakingly, Kamo doesn't really care if he dies here, but to that degree, he will fight as aggressively and tactfully as he can to stall for time. Kamo is such a badass for using his own blood via this blood manipulation techniques that Naoya points out, hey man, you're not gonna die by using your own blood for attacks, but what you're playing is a very dangerous game of chicken here, as we see Kamo huffing and puffing severely with each attack. As the battle between Noritoshi and Kamo continues, he makes an interesting comment that Metapod Naoya's speed is unmatched and his durability is a lot higher than Hanami's, which ultimately I believe this is all just stated because Naoya is receiving a hard shell via binding bow so that he isn't normally tough when it comes to taking damage, which case in point, he's susceptible to the blood of a blood manipulation user, which is poison to a cursed spirit. I wonder what Gege is trying to tell us right here. That key bit of dialogue is Gege absolutely confirming that Naoya will die with Noritoshi's blood manipulation. In this chapter, as he's getting walloped by Naoya, he manages to blow some of his blood onto the cursed spirit's intake valve, which I believe will be the key to defeating Naoya. But then again, if Naoya turns into a Butterfree, will Kamo's blood somehow be circulating within Naoya despite whatever form he becomes as his final state? Throughout the chapters, Naoya continues to wallop Kamo. This is where death flag number 2 comes to play, where a flashback of Kamo's mother carrying on with her life with a new family discovered with Kamo in the background looking saddened and depressed, which what the hell is it with these clan members' families not giving two shits about their children? I mean, we got one with Maki's mother not giving a shit about her. Now we got Kamo's mother not giving a shit about him. It's like, goodness, man. If you're in his shoes, yeah, you got nothing else to live for. Your family doesn't love you. Your clan is basically obsolete or under the manipulation of the real villain of this show. But I may be speaking too soon because as this battle continues of Kamo and Naoya, we see two people yell out Katana and Sumo, and no, unfortunately, it isn't E Honda and Katana from Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter respectively. These are two people who are crying out their names for the sake of maybe the Kamo family, because initially I thought they were crying for excitement to fight a badass cursed spirit, but then as you see that continue on, I'm like, oh no, their eyes, they look like blood manipulation users themselves, so it looks like they might be supporters of Noritoshi that just somehow made it in the nick of time, or coincidentally, they bumped into their former clan leader, right? Regardless, I like this interruption from these fodder characters who will most likely die in the next chapter because it makes the Culling Game much more unpredictable and how future battles will play out. Now, let's go ahead and talk about Maki real quickly, because the most interesting bit of information that came out of this chapter was when she told Kamo, I only need 5 minutes to recover, and she retaliated by saying, your internal organs are damaged. I don't see how you resting is going to make those injuries go away real quickly. And she's like, no, I'm not bluffing. I seriously only need 5 minutes to recover, which now has got me thinking, is this heavenly restriction granting her the ability to quickly recover from internal or even devastating attacks? You can't help but wonder in the future, this is definitely a good thing for Maki. And I don't say this as to her being like a Pokemon and saying recover and she recovers just like that. It is interesting to note that Maki now has another array of tools and arsenals under her bag, which I know adds more fuel to the fire with the debate of Maki stronger than Toji, because I don't think Toji had a quick recovery. I think he was just very quick-witted and smart with how he went about planning his attacks, and he was just a brute force. But this is all to say, at the end of the day, do I think Maki is stronger than Toji? Well, if you read any shonen, let's think about this for 2 seconds. Maki will be stronger than Toji at the end of this story, in the same way that Yuji, Megumi, Nobara is definitely alive, They're all going to be stronger than their predecessors, and you know, that's what makes these stories so much more wholesome. Speaking of which, if you want to see just how much of a badass Toji is, you're going to want to click on this video right here.